What if everything you were taught about women was an illusion? Not a misunderstanding, not a miscommunication, but a meticulously constructed narrative designed to blind you to a truth. That would make you dangerous. Because if you ever saw clearly, if you ever unlearned the falsehoods, you would no longer be easy to manipulate. And that's why this video exists, to reveal the hidden reality you've sensed all along but couldn't quite articulate. This isn't a manifesto of hate, it's a return to vision. A mirror held up to a world most men blindly move through, worshipping shadows. And at the heart of that mirror stands one of the most controversial thinkers of all time, Arthur Schopenhauer. Now let's be clear, Schopenhauer wasn't a Stoic. He wasn't trying to be agreeable or balanced or politically digestible. He said what most thinkers whispered. He dragged the comforting lies of society into the light and burned them with the flame of brutal logic. And when we combine his insights with the razor edge of Stoic philosophy, something incredible happens. Schopenhauer once described women as illusionists, not because they were inherently evil, but because nature designed them to survive, not to be fair. Their charm, their behavior, their emotional intelligence, according to him, weren't aimed at truth. They were tools for influence, but this isn't about blaming women. This is about understanding the rules of a game you never agreed to play, yet have been losing for years. Because the man who doesn't see the game is a pawn, but the man who understands it, who refuses to be ruled by it, is free. Let's begin. The biological code. Schopenhauer believed women were driven by emotion more than rational thought. He wasn't alone in this observation, though few had the nerve to say it outright. His point wasn't moral judgment, it was survival strategy. Emotional intelligence is adaptive. It allows one to sense mood shifts, manipulate group dynamics, secure resources. But here's the Stoic insight: you don't match emotion with emotion. You match it with immovability. You don't argue, you don't plead. You don't react, you remain the mountain in her storm. Epictetus once said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." A woman may lash out, test your frame, even weep in frustration. But if you remain unshaken, not cruel, not passive but composed, you radiate power. Schopenhauer viewed female beauty not as divine artistry but as evolutionary strategy. He saw it not as something to be admired blindly, but something to be understood and managed. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, observe the ephemeral nature of all things. The rotting of beauty, the decay of flesh. And yet men build kingdoms for a face. They destroy empires for a smile. They betray themselves for what time will eventually erase. The Stoic doesn't reject beauty. He enjoys it, but he never worships it. Her beauty isn't the problem. Your blindness to its nature is. Understood the psychology of need. He wrote that women are experts consciously, or note at making men feel like their attention. Their affection is a scarce resource, a treasure to be earned. And that's where men lose their power. Stoicism teaches he who is brave is free, and nothing is braver than walking away from what tries to control you through silence, through guilt, through distance. She ghosts you, you disappear. She pulls back, you pull into yourself. This isn't detachment out of bitterness, this is clarity in motion. Because what chases runs, and what walks away with peace. That's what they never forget. Choice without clarity. Schopenhauer viewed marriage as a trapone designed to domesticate men, to legally bind their resources to another's emotions. While his views were extreme, they force us to ask a harder question. Are you entering your relationships with vision or with hope? The Stoic man marries only if it serves the mission, not because he's lonely, not because he's horny, not because society expects it. He observes. He evaluates. He moves when the stars align, not when his hormones scream. A blueprint for freedom. So where does that leave you? As a man in a modern world full of noise, where every Instagram story is bait and every hey stranger text is a test, it leaves you with 3 sacred obligations. I protect your attention. Your attention is your currency. Women don't want your wallet, they want your gaze. And every moment you spend thinking about her, checking your phone, stalking her feed, fantasizing about a future she's not even considering, you're paying her. In silence, in energy, in the very essence that makes you a man. Attention given freely is value destroyed, so guard your mind. Seneca wrote, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live. Learn how to stop bleeding your power into places that do not feed you." She flirts with someone else to get a rise, you don't react, she goes silent. You fill that silence with your mission. She says she's confused, you say, "Take all the time you need because you don't beg, you don't chase." You offer, and if the offer is refused, you retract without bitterness. That's not cold, that's clean. 3. Stay on mission. Your mission is your anchor. Your calling, your fire. And when you sacrifice that for a woman who doesn't even respect you, you've already lost. No woman respects a man who forgets why he exists. So what's your mountain? Build your business, write your book, train your body. Create something so powerful that her attention is no longer your reward, your legacy is. Because here's the truth. The moment you stop making her your world, she starts wanting a place in yours. From illusion to vision, the goal here is not to hate women. It's not to fear them, resent them, or avoid them. It's to see them clearly. See their nature. See the beauty and the danger. See how easily a man can lose himself chasing what cannot be possessed. And when you see clearly, you move differently. You don't argue, you observe. You don't react, you refine, you don't chase. You attract by becoming the man who doesn't need to be chased. The man who walks into a room and changes the gravity not by force, but by presence. That's the Stoic edge. That's what Schopenhauer couldn't fully teach. Because clarity without self-mastery is dangerous. It leads to bitterness, cynicism, collapse. But when paired with discipline, with purpose, with stillness, it's liberation. From pawn to king, so now the question isn't why did she leave? It's why did I give so much to someone who never truly saw me? It's why did I place my worth in hands that were never steady? It's why did I beg to be chosen when I hadn't even chosen myself? When you see clearly, when you learn to sit in your own silence, when you become so full in purpose, that her presence is a compliment, not a requirement, you win. Not the game of dating, the game of self, the only game that ever mattered. And if this video just opened your eyes, drop a comment below that says clarity. Because once you see the illusion, you never bow to it again, and the world, it starts watching you.